The Chicago White Sox lost 121 games last year. Chris Getz, their GM, who now really must know the organization, he met the media, and he wants you guys to be clear. Crystal clear. Jack Nicholson style clear. He said, I think we're going to win more games than we did last year. Sound the alarms, baby. Turn on those machines. Sell, Mortimer, sell. When you lose 120 games, can you imagine if the talking point coming out of that season going into the next season is, listen, it is a very realistic possibility that we're going to break our own record. I can't. All right, let me do that with a straight face. Ready? 4, 8, 6, 9. For the Chicago White Sox to be worse in 2025 than they were in 2024, it would require the breaking of another record that felt unbreakable. It didn't seem possible that a team could lose 121 games, as it doesn't feel possible a team can win 121 games. The difference between winning 121 and losing 121 is very little, actually. It's my favorite horseshoe analogy. When you're at the end of the horseshoe, you're really darn close together. So to be that bad is really just as hard as being that good. And no one's ever been 121 good. So when I'm going to have Chris Getz meet the media, I'm not leading with the fact that I expect us to be better than we were last year. Really, NSS, baby. Here's what I say. Can you believe last year? I'm never even going to talk about it again. I stopped thinking about it at the end of our final game, and my sole focus has been on this season and beyond and getting this team to a point where it is competing for World Series championships year after year. That's the man that I got from our great owner, Jerry Reinsdorf, and that's the way I operate the team. Boom. Be done. Don't talk about the fact, and this all Chris Getz did all this. Don't talk about the growing pains in a rebuild and how you don't really know how good you're going to be or bad you're going to be, but you assume you're not going to lose 121. Don't call for patience of your fans. Getz did that directly. How is that not in the first media training? Do you know who doesn't have patience? The guy third in line at In-N-Out when the first two people are looking at the menu saying, what do you have here? Fans don't want patience. They don't want to be told to be patient with mediocrity or with crap. Hey, here's a synonym for please have patience. TTP. Trust the process. How's that going? Did you all trust that process with Josh up there in Philly? Chris Getz was also asked something that made me laugh. Spring training, we shared a facility with the Cardinals in Roger Dean in Jupiter, Florida. You don't see them every day because they're on the opposite side, different parking lots, different backfields. Where you see them is when you're playing them. And you end up playing in spring training your stadium partner more than other teams because it's a way to keep players in their own bed. It's a way to keep them off the bus. So you're a home game against the Cardinals several times. You're a road team against the Cardinals, but you're still at home. It is very common for teams to split facilities. The White Sox have a gorgeous spring training facility, and they share it with the Dodgers. He was asked about the Dodgers, and he said there's a lot of different ways to go about building an organization. The Dodgers have done a great job within the parameters they have. With that being said, it's a great opportunity to be matched up in a facility with a team that won the World Series, to have something to aim for. There's not one player on the White Sox, not one. And I'm not being full of hyperbole. There is not one White Sox player who is looking over to the other side of the spring training facility and saying, ooh, I wonder if I travel in their orbit, will any of that World Series juice rub off on me? Not one White Sox player. Oh, we are so lucky to share a facility with the Dodgers. Let's study them up close because then we can get to where we are. We can get to where they are. It's so funny to me that you've got a GM trying to tell you that that is possible, that there is some sort of sum greater than the parts when you are watching and looking at a great team. Does that not work all the years with the Mets and the Yankees when the Yankees were that great and the Mets are in the same city? Hey, we're just thankful to be in the same city as such greatness. Maybe that will rub off on us. What do you think? Fred Wilpon was having that conversation with George Steinbrenner? Listen, George, we'd like to compete for some of these free agents. What are your thoughts? The whole thing's preposterous. I'm not angry with Chris Getz. That's not the right way to say it. I think really where I am with him is that he's stuck in a position where he knows his team is bad. And I've had this with GMs, and it's really tough to do. When you've evaluated that you are rebuilding or that you just don't have the skill, the talent, you're not ready to win, whatever the case may be, you've got to send out your president of baseball ops or GM on day one of spring training, and we don't let you say it. As much as I'd like for teams to give you total honesty and transparency, we can't tell you that we're bad